Off-road racing is a high-risk activity, and in response to those risks, the regulations stipulate that every vehicle that goes onto the racetrack must have a first aid kit. So let's have a look at what's in that first aid kit. One of the things you'll find inside the first aid kit is a combine dressing. Combine dressing is used to apply directly onto a wound or a burn. You'll also find inside your first aid kit an eye pad. In case of injury to the eye area, this is applied over the eye and then held in with an elasticized bandage. In addition to the eye patch, you'll also find a burns dressing. This was specifically designed to application to areas of the skin that have suffered from burns. Similarly to the burns bandage, you'll also get several universal dressings. These can be applied again to open wounds, but they're not specifically designed for burns. With the use of several of those bandages, you are then required to use an elasticized bandage. Your first aid kit will come with two separate sizes, with clips to enable it to be held on the body as you wrap around the bandage. As an additional means to hold bandages and wraps in place, your first aid kit will also come with a spool of tape that is utilised there to hold things into place to dress the wounds and injuries. As the first aid kit is generally used in an emergency, you'll also get a pair of scissors. These are used to cut bandages, cut wraps, and also to cut clothing clear of the wound area. For use with bandages and the like, your first aid kit will also come with safety pins. These can be used on your wrap bandages as well as your triangular bandage. A good universal bandage is the triangular bandage. This can be used as strong dressings around wounds and burns to keep it clear. It can also be used as a sling, and you'd utilise the safety pins when creating that sling. Keeping a patient warm and dry is important during the immediate first aid application. Your first aid kit will come with an emergency blanket. Simply take it out of the packet and wrap it round the person required. And finally, your first aid kit should contain some form of elastoplast or band-aid. In this example, we have the fabric version of band-aids to go over those puncture wounds. So they're all the items that should be contained inside your first aid kit. Remember, there are certain items within the first aid kit which are lifed and will have to be monitored to ensure they don't go out of date. Inside your first aid kit, you should also have a ready reckoner of the basic first aid techniques. We also recommend that you take time and go and do a first aid course, a St John's first aid course, just the basic first aid, to ensure when the application of first aid is required, you know what's in your kit and you know how to use it. If you do happen to use your first aid kit, remember at the earliest convenience you are to replace those items. Remember, you are required to present your first aid kit at scrutineering, and also ensure that your first aid kit is located in an easily accessible area of the car, both so you can get to it and your rescuers can get to it. Remember, it's your best interest to ensure your first aid kit is in good condition, because it is your first aid kit which will be used on you. Ensure the location of your first aid kit is indicated with the appropriate signage on the side of your car, so that those rescuers can access your first aid kit and know exactly where it is.